If you are doing something out of your comfort zone and someone who is continuously living in their comfort zone and they never go out of their comfort zone comes and criticizes you, you generally don't want to listen to that. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I hope that everyone is doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I wanted to talk about how to stop caring so much about what other people think of you, aka how to stop giving a fuck. I have come to realize that to really live a life that truly fulfills me and makes me happy, I have had to learn how to stop caring so much about other people's opinions and judgments and thoughts. But at the same time, this is not always an easy thing to do. And so, yeah, let's talk about that today. At the base of it is fear. Whatever we want to do, but we don't go and do it. So, for example, you want to write a book, you want to go online, you want to dress differently, you want to be more honest with people, you want to travel the world, you want to meet more people, you want to speak publicly, you want to, I don't know, whatever it is that you want to do, but you don't do it. It's mostly because of fear, whether that is fear of judgment, fear of opinions, fear of embarrassment, of humiliation, of criticism, of consequences, whatever it is mostly fear. And a few years ago, I struggled with this much more than I do now. And I remember back then, I would look at the people who were doing things in their life that I wanted to do, but I was too scared to do. And I would look at them and think, wow, these people must be fearless. They must just not feel any fear. I would then envision a future version of myself who is so empowered and so fearless that she doesn't care about anything anymore. She's not afraid of anything anymore. And I thought, someday I'm going to be that kick-ass version of myself. And when I'm that, that's when I'm going to finally do all of the things that I've always wanted to do, but I'm just too afraid to do them. But I've realized that that is just not how it works. I think fear often makes us wait for that perfect moment to then go and do something that we've wanted to do. So let's say we wait until we have moved out of our small little town where people are really judgy, but we can only move out in like 4 years. So we wait those 4 years to start posting on social media the way we want to, thinking that's when it's not going to be scary anymore. Or we wait until we have read more and more and more books until we can start writing our own book. We wait until we have a different body or we've worked out more to wear the clothes that we want to wear. We wait until we have more money to do something that scares us because we think that's when we're going to be respected more. But oftentimes that point that the mind will make you wait for, it never comes because the mind will always find the next excuse as to why you are not quite there yet. I think to really not give a fuck anymore and do all of the things we want to do in life, you have to be fearless. But I saw a wonderful quote somewhere a long time ago, and I'm not sure who it's from. I will try to find it. But basically it said, fearlessness is not the absence of fear. Rather, it is the mastery of fear. And that's exactly what I mean with this. Like, to do all of the things in my life that scared me, I didn't have to get rid of the fear because a lot of the times that point never comes. I just had to understand it and move through it and make sure that it doesn't stop me from doing what I want to do. But to wait until you're not afraid anymore, to actually go and do something that you want to do, a lot of the times that point never comes because often the only way to get rid of fear is to just go and fucking do it. And I like to kind of envision fear as this little monster in my head, this little voice, and I'm really glad it's there. I'm really, really happy it's there. I have just had to learn how to communicate with it, how to understand it, and how to tame it. But I don't want to get rid of that voice because I've had a lot of moments where valid fear has stopped me from doing things in my life that I would have very much regretted. You just kind of have to learn how to talk to that monster and communicate with it and have it under control and just kind of say, like, thanks for being in my life, little fear monster. I really appreciate it. Thanks for making sure that I don't walk into a driving car, because that's what fear also is. It's survival. So thanks for that. But I really need to, I don't know, write this book today, or wear this outfit, or go and do this, anything that scares you, but you want to do it. And I know you are afraid of people judging us. So thanks for looking out for me. But I really need to do this today. And we are not walking into a driving car. So you just need to go into the back seat and let me run the show for a little bit. And trust me, it's going to be okay. And I'm going to deal with you later. But I cannot let you stop me from doing this thing that I really know I want to do. It's kind of like this car that you're driving, which is your life, and you just need to make sure that fear is not in the driver's seat, because when it's in the driver's seat, it's just this loud screaming voice that has control over what you do and when you do what 24/7. You want to make sure that it's somewhere in the back seat or in the boot of the car, so that you can talk to it when you need it, and it can reach you when it needs to reach you, but it's definitely not running your life. Let's do a short little story time about a moment in my life where I feel like I really had to learn how to not give a fuck, and then I will explain why I'm sharing this story. So this situation happened when I'm thinking, was I 15 or 16? But no, I just turned 16. And basically, I wanted to take a decision in my life when it came to my education and my schooling. At that point, I was in a normal public school, and I decided I wanted to do the last years of my school online because I wanted to travel more and have more experiences, and I felt like I couldn't do that in the environment that I was in. And for some people, that might sound like a small thing to do, but back then, in the city where I grew up, which is pretty small, and with the people around me, that was not really a normal thing that you did. For a lot of people, that was like a crazy thing to do and an outrageous choice to take, because I had good grades in school and I seemed okay. So they were like, why would you have to do something like that? Like, that's such a stupid thing to do. And after I took that choice, I got a lot of backlash from friends and family members and teachers and just people around me who really didn't understand why I was doing what I was doing, and they judged me for it, and they thought it was not a good idea, and they often said that in a very open and honest way. My point is, I felt the fear and I did it anyways because I knew it was the right choice for me, but at the same time I really struggled because I had countless moments where I felt cornered and humiliated and judged by people who didn't understand my choice, and it really affected me because back then I still cared way too much about what other people thought of me, and so that whole process just really just sucked a lot of energy from me. And so how do we manage to do the things that scare us, but then still not care so much about the consequences or the things that people have to say about it? Because sometimes people's opinions and judgments are just part of life. You can't really control that. And for me, now looking back, I think one of the biggest reasons why I felt so affected by other people's opinions is because I wasn't really clear about why I was doing what I was doing. I didn't know myself enough to understand why I was really taking that choice. It's really important to know why you are doing what you are doing, and that will help a lot. So let's say, as an example, I would go back in time to that moment and I would sit myself down and I would be like, Alina, why are we doing this? And let's say in that process, I realized it's growth. At the base of it, that was what it was. I wanted to grow more, and I felt like my environment didn't allow that. And so now I know I'm doing this because I want to grow. And there might be many different reasons as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. The more you figure out, the better. But let's say now I know my intention is growth. Now, someone comes along and tells me that they think I shouldn't be doing this and they think it's an awful idea. Now, I look at the person and I try to understand, my intention is growth. Does this person have a growth mindset? No. Is this person trying to grow in their life? No. So in that moment, clearly our values and our intentions don't align. So that means I don't need to give that so much energy. Or someone comes and tells me, I don't think you should do that because what if you fail? What if you don't manage? You should be scared of what will happen if you don't manage. And I know my intention is growth. My intention is not to achieve. My intention is not to be perfect. My intention is not to have a certain result. My intention is just that I want to grow. And so in that moment, whatever we both see as important, it is not aligning. I am seeing something else as important, and the other person is seeing something else as important. And that's fine. But that means I don't need to listen to that opinion. I don't need to give that energy because I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I know that that person doesn't see that same thing as important. I think whatever you want to do, but it scares you, a really good way to combat that fear is to be clear on why you are doing what you're doing. That's going to be a really strong driving force because it makes it much easier to know where you are going, why you are going there, and then you don't get so distracted on the way by other people who are not even in line with what you're trying to do. If I wake up one day and I want to wear a crazy shirt, because that day I know I want to wear this crazy shirt because I just don't want to take myself so seriously that day and I want to have more fun with fashion. And then someone comes and tells me, you look shit, and I know I'm wearing this because I don't want to take myself so seriously. I don't need to listen to that because that person obviously takes themselves too seriously. And so it's these little things, but the more I think we are clear on why we are doing what we're doing, the more it becomes easier to just go and do that. Opinions, judgment, and people thinking some things about you is something that you can never control. And I've realized the more you go for what you want, the more you open yourself up for possible judgment or opinions because you're not continuously trying to dodge that bullet because you're so afraid of that happening. And so that means it will happen more. The more I have become more of the person that I want to be, the more I have indirectly opened up more doors for possible judgment, possible fears, possible things to go wrong, possible criticism, because that's just what happens. But the more I have also become happier because I'm being more of the person that I want to be. And so I've realized if I want to be happy and I want to do the things that I want to do, I need to be okay with understanding that not everyone's going to like me and not everyone is going to support me. And that's okay. I don't want to be afraid of judgment because sometimes that's just part of life. And so if someone comes and tells me something to my face, or I hear something I hear someone talking about me behind my back, or someone writes something online, or I don't know, anything. If someone is expressing something about me, my first instinct is not going to be to just block it off and tell them to f off, because maybe there is something valuable in it. But whether or not I implement that in my life and whether or not I really listen to it in a way that I take it in, that's a whole nother story. The world is big and we all have so many different belief systems and so many different ideas, and we grow up in different families, we go to different schools, we grow up in different cultures, we all think differently. And so not everyone is gonna support you, not everyone is gonna understand you, not everyone is gonna like what you do, and that's okay. There's a beautiful part in everyone thinking so differently, and that's okay, but you don't want to listen to all of it. If I would have listened to all of the things that people said to me over the last years, even if it was meant well or not meant well, doesn't matter, I would now be in a very sad and unhappy place. If you are doing something out of your comfort zone and someone who is continuously living in their comfort zone and they never go out of their comfort zone comes and criticizes you, you generally don't want to listen to that. And sometimes people who want you to listen to them will see that as arrogant and say, yeah, but you should listen to everyone's opinion because there could be something valuable in it for you. Yeah, maybe there is, but the probability is high. If we are so different in what we're trying to do in our lives, I'm not going to listen to that. It's almost really a conscious thing that you need to tell yourself, because whenever someone tells me something and I really feel like it doesn't align with me and I don't want to take it in, I sometimes like to sit down and just say, delete, 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 like kind of delete it from my brain, because otherwise it can still subconsciously creep in and start to grow some seeds about what you think of yourself or what you're trying to do. And so just, when things don't align with you and people are just saying things that don't match with what you're trying to do, just say delete, delete, delete. Of course, we want to stay open to growth, and we want to stay open to feedback, and we want to stay open to, good criticism, because that's what makes you grow. And I never want to be in a state of my life where anything sometimes someone says, I always think I know better. That's not what it's about at all. But the end person who decides whether or not I take something in or not, I still want that person to be me. And I want to understand first, why am I taking this in, or why am I choosing not to take it in? So that is all I wanted to share for today's podcast episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed, and looking forward to connecting with you in my next episode. I hope you have a beautiful morning, evening, day, night, wherever you are. And talk to you in my next episode.